The story begins with a man named Adam who suddenly regains consciousness submerged in a bathtub filled with dirty bluish water inside a grimy, decaying bathroom. Disoriented and terrified, he gasps for air as the stopper pops out, draining the strange blue liquid down the rusted drain. The flickering light above finally turns on, revealing the horrific environment around him. Adam realizes he's not alone. Across the room, chained by the ankle to a pipe just like him, sits Dr. Lawrence Gordon, a middle-aged surgeon dressed in a torn business shirt. Both men are bound to opposite sides of the filthy tiled room. Between them lies the gruesome sight of a dead body sprawled on the floor, soaked in dried blood. The corpse holds a revolver in one hand and a tape recorder in the other, its head blown open by a gunshot wound. Neither Adam nor Dr. Gordon remembers how they ended up in this nightmare. Their minds are foggy, their memories fractured. Searching for answers, Adam spots two small objects, a bullet, a microcassette, and a key, inside a small plastic bag near his foot. Desperately, they try using the key to unlock their shackles, but it doesn't fit. It's for another lock, but which one, they don't know yet. Adam, with the help of Dr. Gordon, manages to hook a shirt and pull the tape recorder away from the dead man's hand. They each find a cassette labeled with their names. When Adam plays his, a distorted mechanical voice echoes through the room, the infamous voice of the Jigsaw killer. The voice mocks Adam, saying he has spent years secretly photographing and exploiting others, destroying lives for his own gain. Now he's given one final chance to redeem himself. He can either rot here and die slowly, or prove his will to survive by playing the game. The tape for Dr. Gordon begins, the same eerie voice telling him that he's a man who doesn't appreciate life, who spends his days diagnosing death for others without understanding its meaning. The voice delivers a shocking message. If he wishes to save his wife and daughter, who are currently held captive, he must kill Adam before 6 p.m. The instructions promise hidden clues scattered across the room that will help him complete this task. Dr. Gordon replays the tape, focusing on the words, "Follow your heart." Searching for meaning, he notices a heart drawn crudely on the toilet tank. Adam checks inside and discovers two hacksaws and some photographs, one of which shows Dr. Gordon in strange places. Adam hides the photos from him, sensing they mean something dangerous. Both men try sawing through their chains, but the metal is too strong. Adam grows frustrated and angrily throws his saw across the room, shattering a mirror and cutting his hand slightly. Dr. Gordon continues sawing, only to realize it's useless. They soon understand the horrifying truth. The saws are not meant to cut the chains, but their own feet. The realization chills them both to the core. It's the ultimate test of sacrifice. As they process the shock, they begin to recall rumors of the notorious serial mastermind known as Jigsaw. Dr. Gordon tells Adam about a previous murder case that involved Jigsaw's sick games. In flashback, we see scenes of other victims who were placed in deadly traps designed to make them value their lives. Unlike traditional killers, Jigsaw doesn't murder directly. He forces his victims into gruesome scenarios where survival depends on moral choices and self-inflicted pain. Those who endure his games often emerge psychologically shattered, but reborn. Dr. Gordon recalls the investigation led by Detective David Tapp and his partner Detective Singh. They were working on the case of a man named Mark who died in a room filled with broken glass and a candle, having to read clues written in flammable material. At the scene, police found a pen with Dr. Gordon's fingerprints, making him a prime suspect. When interrogated, Dr. Gordon admits that on the night of the murder, he was at a hotel visiting one of his medical interns, a woman he was having an affair with, something he had kept hidden from his wife. To clear suspicion, he tells them the truth. During the interrogation, the police introduce another survivor of Jigsaw, a woman named Amanda. Her story plays out in flashback. She was a heroin addict kidnapped by Jigsaw and forced into a nightmarish trap involving a reverse bear trap strapped to her head. She had to cut open the stomach of another unconscious man to retrieve the key that could save her. Shaking and screaming, Amanda performed the horrifying act and survived just seconds before the device snapped shut. Now free, she tells the detectives that her life was actually saved by Jigsaw, because the near-death experience made her appreciate life again. "He helped me," she says with chilling conviction. Back in the filthy bathroom, Adam and Dr. Gordon realize someone is observing them through a one-way mirror in the wall. Paranoia grows. Dr. Gordon pulls out a photo of his wife and daughter from his wallet, showing Adam his family. Adam looks at it sadly, but hides a different photo he finds among the items, one that secretly shows Gordon's wife and daughter bound and gagged in a dark room. Adam hides it to avoid worsening Gordon's despair. Behind the photo, there's a clue marked with an X, which leads them to a small red box hidden behind tiles. Inside, they find 2 cigarettes, a lighter, a cell phone, and a note. The note tells Dr. Gordon that the blood on the floor is poisonous. He realizes this might be a clue for another test. Desperate, he dips a cigarette into the blood and tells Adam to fake his death by pretending to be poisoned when smoking it. Adam reluctantly agrees, taking a puff and collapsing dramatically. For a moment, Dr. Gordon thinks the plan worked, until the Jigsaw voice over the hidden speakers coldly says, "Nice try." Their trick failed. The lights flicker again, and tension fills the air. Then the cell phone rings. Dr. Gordon picks it up with trembling hands. On the other end, his terrified wife whispers his name. He hears his daughter sobbing in the background. A calm but menacing voice, Zepp Hindle, an orderly from Dr. Gordon's hospital, tells him the rules are being enforced. If Gordon doesn't complete the task by 6, his family will die. Time is running out. The call cuts off. Panic sets in. Adam, furious and scared, begins yelling at Gordon, accusing him of hiding something. He reveals the photographs he took secretly of Gordon visiting hotels, showing that Detective Tapp had hired him to spy on Gordon as part of the investigation. Adam admits he's just a photographer who takes pictures of cheating husbands and shady clients. Gordon grabs the photos and notices something strange, a man visible in the background through his house window. He suddenly recognizes the face. It's Zepp, his hospital employee. The realization hits him like lightning. Zepp is watching his family, probably the one keeping them captive, and he must be working for Jigsaw. The clock nears 6 o'clock. Gordon screams in frustration, knowing he hasn't completed the task. The phone rings again, and he hears gunshots and screaming. Believing his family is dead, Dr. Gordon breaks down, his sanity slipping away. In despair, he decides there's only one way left, to cut off his foot to free himself. Trembling and sobbing, he tightens his belt as a tourniquet and begins sawing through his own flesh, crying in agony. The room fills with blood-curdling screams as Adam watches in horror. At the same time, Zepp approaches the wife and daughter in their captivity, ready to execute them, but Detective Tapp, who's been monitoring the situation, bursts in and attacks Zepp, saving them. Zepp flees, and Tapp chases him through the building. Their violent chase ends with Tapp being shot dead by Zepp in the hallway. Meanwhile, Dr. Gordon, pale and weak from blood loss, frees himself from the chain. He crawls toward the gun lying beside the dead body on the floor. Trembling, he picks it up and aims at Adam. Adam begs him not to, but Gordon fires, the sound echoing through the tiled chamber. Adam screams in pain as the bullet strikes him, and Gordon collapses, exhausted and half-dead. The deafening gunshot fades, leaving only silence and the echo of Dr. Gordon's heavy breathing. His trembling hands drop the gun as he sobs uncontrollably, covered in sweat and blood. The room smells of rust, decay, and despair. The doctor believes he's killed Adam, but deep inside, he feels no victory, only the cold realization of how far he's fallen. His leg, now half-severed, bleeds profusely as he wraps his shirt around it, trying to stop the flow. Suddenly, the phone rings again. He drags himself across the floor, gasping in pain, but it's too far. He screams helplessly as the call ends. On the other end, Zepp, believing the task complete, moves to finish his own twisted mission. He heads back toward the bathroom, clutching his gun and humming softly, his face blank yet tense. The door bursts open. Detective Tapp, barely alive after being shot, appears again. He attacks Zepp with sheer desperation, shouting at him to drop the gun. They fight brutally in the hallway. Zepp slams Tapp against a wall, firing wildly. A bullet hits Tapp in the chest, and he collapses lifeless. Breathing heavily, Zepp wipes the blood from his face and turns back toward the bathroom, convinced he's the last man standing. Inside, Dr. Gordon lies motionless, his skin pale from blood loss. Adam, still alive, groans and slowly regains consciousness. He was only grazed by the bullet. As Zepp enters, Adam hides his breathing, pretending to be dead again. The blood-stained figure rises from the floor, peeling away the prosthetic wound from his head. Adam freezes in pure horror as the man stands upright. It's John Kramer, the real Jigsaw killer. His calm eyes meet Adam's, and his voice, no longer distorted, speaks softly yet chillingly. The key to your chain is in the bathtub. The memory flashes in Adam's mind, the blue water draining away when he first woke up. The key that had sunk with it was gone from the very beginning. His freedom had literally washed down the drain. Shock and realization consume him. Adam grabs the nearby gun and points it shakily at Jigsaw, screaming in terror. But before he can pull the trigger, Jigsaw presses a button on a small remote. A powerful electric current surges through Adam's chain, electrocuting him violently. He convulses, screaming in agony, before collapsing to the floor, twitching. Jigsaw looks down at him with eerie calmness and says the final words of his game. Game over. He pulls the heavy door shut with a thunderous clang, plunging the room into total darkness as Adam's desperate screams echo into silence. The camera lingers on the decaying bathroom, the sound of Adam's final cries fading away, leaving only the buzzing of the broken fluorescent light. The nightmare is complete. The film ends with the chilling sound of the door locking, symbolizing that Jigsaw's game has claimed another victim. But behind it all, his message remains the same. Those who take life for granted must face the test of truly valuing it. Outside the room, the police sirens in the distance fade away. Detective Tapp's body lies cold in the hallway. Dr. Gordon crawls through the darkness, his fate unknown. Inside, Adam's muffled screams turn into quiet sobs. The door remains sealed forever. This is Jigsaw's world now, a place where survival means suffering and salvation comes through pain. The scene fades to black, the final echo of Jigsaw's voice repeating softly in the void. Most people are so ungrateful to be alive, but not you, not anymore. Game over.